is really time for me to redo my hair. This is way too fucking... I feel like that dude from the Gorillas.
Mm. I just got a haircut and a close shave a couple of days ago.
I did want to
It's the
say, your hair is looking fresh right now.
well, there's only this much of it, but yeah, I
Oh
know how
my
to wear the
god.
tuft.
I've been bamboozled by the hat again. Fucking hell.
We have this running
Okay.
joke at the moment, now that my little brother's gone to uni, that he only ever comes back for haircuts because he realises how expensive they are in London.
Oh,
So that's...
Oh, nice.
He was back yesterday.
I would also come back to drink. It's just so ridiculous at the bars there.
I had
yeah.
I had a bottle of Disaronno and I gave it to him, and I kind of regret doing that now. Otherwise, I would have something for today. He was like, "I've never had this before. How do you drink it?" And he had it without any mixer and just had Disaronno on its own, and it was really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
You
like,
can
don't do that. I was in the middle of getting Coke for him,
He was
and
like-
he had
he was
just
like-
drunk it.
He's like, how do you drink this? Chug, 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 chug.
It's just like, no,
But,
not
like,
it.
That's not how. No.
You
No.
can. Okay, real talk, you can, but you'll get diabetes before you get drunk. Like, for real. Like, Toronto is not good for you.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
Gnarly.
Yeah,
That
I
being
ended
said,
up
I've just...
giving it to him.
Nice. I've discovered that Echo Falls do like a vodka that is cranberry flavored, and that is now my new actual favorite alcohol. I'm just finishing the Disaronno so I can start drinking that.
Exciting.
Honestly, the fact that I can start drinking vodka again is like really just a good sign for me. Like, you know, mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm.
Bad omen, but a good sign.
That's how I felt. I went back to... I had scotch yesterday. I was on scotch.
I only drink tequila.
And I was like, oh.
Ooh.
They don't have enough good tequila here that I could do that.
They do not. England has fucking down terrible tequila. It's so bad.
It's bad. I heard someone like unironically saying Patron, like Patron is the one, and I was just like, oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if that is the best tequila
Patron's
you can
okay.
get over there.
it might be. It might be. The silver is okay. I like Patron silver.
I feel like England especially has like such a reputation for like alcoholism that it's almost hilarious how bad the alcohol is down here. You know?
Yeah, it's a little unexpected, but it needs
Yeah.
to be that bad because of the consumption cost.
Literally.
You know. Anyways, this is the part where you tell me that we're live, right?
Yeah. For the past 3 minutes.
Wonderful. We've offended more people without fail. Thank you.
Fuck England.
That's the way that we are starting out. Is it at the second or third iteration of this? Because
I
on
think
the
it's the
YouTube thing it
fourth.
said
This
second
is the
season.
third or fourth season.
Okay.
Because remember, we started with Jeremy Cotton,
We did start with JC.
and then
I guess
they left.
This is like a fourth,
and then we had
Yeah.
Joe,
right?
and then Joe left.
Then the saga of Theodos. Tears of a Unicorn. And here we are. The party has been through a lot together. We've faced our fears of bears, and mazes, and vampires, and a lot of other stuff. It was supposed to have started out via a coffee shop, but it may make sense to start much, much, much further back when Ao was said to have created the universe and took a part of himself, or there was a coexistent being that co-conspired in the creation of all things that the party may have incidentally resurrected, causing a ripple effect through the multiverse, which has yet to be fully understood. A lot of other things happened. Like Sunny's family tried to kill Russo. The dread vampire lord Strahd lost in a game of baseball. You met Shemeshka the Marauder, and you saw the city of Sigil in its various lights. We didn't quite make it to the People's Court, but you know, there's still time.
They're waiting.
Yeah,
They're not going anywhere.
and you've come to and found yourselves in a place that, coming to think of it, only Blake Sunny would have been in previously. The temple space underneath the 12 Fractals bar, and before, or what you previously discovered, were a series of catacombs, in which you found the original substance, which you took to calling goop, later Quicksilver, around which the first 3, 1, 2, however many seasons centered, and using that substance, Elsha Ironwind, the cleric of Lathander, was able to presumably resurrect, or something happened. There was a massive flash of light. So you're not exactly sure, but it is believed that that artifact was a part of that deity, and it was returned to their broken ephemeral astral form. And you have found yourselves in a great temple or fest hall, surrounded by various barriar, and I think it's in, oh god, I just had this word on my tongue. Ireniar. What is the word? Einherjar. Which are like spectral figures of deceased warriors, who are sitting at various tables with spectral grand feasts, which reflect along the walls. You're coming in from the altar via this kind of stone enclosure, and there's a Barriar who's kind of standing, wobbling in front of the group of you, and he says, "No one has come through that portal in 1,000 years, but we've been expecting you."
Oh,
What do you do?
Can you, one more time, what happened immediately preceding us coming through this portal?
You were all in the top spire part of Earthamon's tower, which had projected itself from, well, from what you can understand, it projected itself from where it was in Celestia out. And
what happened in that
you
room?
resurrected, or you, Pocket, woke up Oberon, the Lord of the Fairies.
Oh yeah, that was
the
fun.
Seelie Sun. Yeah, and you played a prank on him. You picked up a death cup, and some absinthe, and the cleric used that substance the party was being really secretive about, and there was a bright flashing light that went in the direction of that screen at the far end of the room, that enclosed space, where there were sort of dismembered body parts of some kind of astral figure or projection, which sort of opened up like a portal, and the light went into it and through it. It was getting bigger, and that light flashed, and you swooshed away, and you popped up here in a place where you have probably
Oh,
before.
right. Where's the earthy man? We're here to kill him.
But that is the scene.
Where's the earthy man? We're here to kill him. Isn't that right, Elsha?
Earthamon, right?
We're at the
Right.
top of the tower. This has got to be where he
Elsha
is.
is not there, and neither is Alistair Sunny.
Right,
It
Elsha.
is just a party. And the Barriar says, "No, That's not correct.
Right, Elsha.
You are
Elsha.
underneath the 12 Fractals pub.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay.
You're in the cage.
cool.
Date, and it is the same date that the party left.
How does he know that?
He lives in the city.
How does he know it's the same day we left?
Well, he doesn't say that. but
Okay, well, how do we know that?
the party knows that. You know
How?
what day it is.
How?
There's a calendar system.
Where?
I've got a good circadian rhythm going.
I'm having
I've been
some
sleeping-
serious jet
There's an
lag.
official calendar system.
Yes,
it
we
doesn't
but we
matter.
just we appear in this place and we're like, it's June 3rd.
yeah,
We just know it
Exactly.
intrinsically. Is there a calendar on the wall? Come on.
Because
Christmas Eve.
it is a city in which people come in through portals. People who are used to handling plane hoppers. It's
But-
like a reality check thing.
but
they
so,
tell you when
like,
it is. It's
so
helpful.
we-
It's like you've just arrived in Seattle. The weather is sunny.
Who says this though? I need to
7:45.
know. He steps up to us and gives us the date.
No, it's just he says it after you start talking.
What a weird thing. What a weird thing to say. I mean, I'm not crazy, am I? Sorry. Oh, cool. It's the same day.
In all
could've
fairness,
found that
it's
out.
D&D. It's not the weirdest.
Sorry. It couldn't be D&D without me
'Cause I
questioning
was
the
an
logic of
adventurer
something.
once.
Did he tell us what the weather was like when he told us the date?
Yeah, is it raining out, dude? Also, did you see like an old man who looks like me?
It's good to be back.
He tells you, no, I haven't seen anyone who looks like you in a very long time. And there is a make a perception check, everyone. See what you notice. Copernicus is with you. I need to get his
Yes.
character. Yes, I look.
16.
Everyone looks up. Fuck.
Oh my god. I forgot.
Oh, I miss Copernicus.
I forgot how perceptive Pocket is. Jesus Christ. I got a
Oh yeah, you've got really beefed up perception, don't you?
26 on my perception, please.
Fuck, ma.
Oh my. 1 second.
Oh, I have a Rod of Alertness. So I have advantage on checks to spot, hear, or otherwise detect the presence of something.
Uh-huh. 1 second.
Perhaps I hear conversations through closed doors, eavesdrop under windows, or hear monsters moving stealthily in the forest.
Out of character, didn't you also get some sort of a horn?
Yeah.
A golden horn?
Let me see.
Oh,
You said
yeah.
26, right? You got a Horn of Valhalla, yes. The most
Yes, I
powerful
do have
variation.
that in my inventory.
Yes. And so
Oh yeah, cool. Okay,
Pocket.
sorry, I'm just now glancing at my inventory for the first time. I have absinthe, Oberon's Choice, and silver absinthe spoons here in my inventory.
mhm.
Yes, 26.
Blake, you're able to notice at the far end of the chamber, hiding behind some pillars, are several figures. You see what appear to be small halos of light that don't make sense with the configuration of the room. Pocket, you are able to see sneaking his way through the crowd what looks like that same snake. The little fiery salamander, and it's darting right towards
Hey, it's that
Copernicus.
beefcake!
And you say that, and the snake lunges at Copernicus's neck.
Motherfucker!
Leo,
let's
no!
Look out!
Let's
Is
roll
that-
initiative.
Look out! That
Is that an
beefcake
ambush
wants your
round?
butt.
It is an ambush round. Yes.
I get an attack. I get 2 off, actually.
Okay.
If that's cool. If that doesn't break the sequence of things. 'cause-
No, it's fine. You can slash into Leo as he begins flying into the fray.
Actually,
Wait.
because I can.
He gets a
just grapple
surprise
people
round
if
even
I
though we
hit.
got like 26s on our perceptions.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I don't think
You
so.
don't notice Leo because of the stealth.
Who doesn't?
Blake Sunny.
Oh.
So so the way it's gonna work is you have your action after Leo. Does that make
I
sense?
see. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
It'll
So-
still be part of the ambush round, but it will be after Leo's action.
Wait, so like even
You'll
though
be
I
able to prevent him.
even though I beat his stealth with my perception, he still gets a surprise round?
Um,
On me.
so you have a split second to react when you see the snake. It's like less than 15 feet away through the crowd. It rolled a 25. It was very stealthy.
I got a 26.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But you catch it at the last second. It's a high stakes.
It's that beefcake.
High snakes.
Do you do anything else?
Yes. Come here, beefcake. And I cast Charm Monster.
Very good.
It needs to make a wisdom
what-
saving throw.
Radical. And what's your save?
My save is 17.
It has no wisdom. Okay, so you cast that spell, and
And
let
if
me
it
look at the
fails, I'm gonna do some other stuff, so let me know.
charm monster. Yeah. It passes. 17, it passes.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I am going to use my chronal shift ability to make it reroll that. Try again.
Fine.
Ooh.
It still passes. Rolls a 19 on the die. It has a +0. You said 17, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, and because it is in its head, it is fighting. It's in combat. It is fighting. It has advantage, so that's why it does so well. The snake lunges through the air and bites into Copernicus's neck and transforms into a fiery creature that looks like this. I will just pop that in there. Sort of lands on top of Copernicus temporarily. And you can already begin to see waves of fire erupting from it and beginning to make walls of flame, which make their way from the walls of this enclosed space from which you came. Let's roll initiative, everyone, and we'll get to Blake Sunny's reaction after.
I get a
This is all like
natural.
part of one fluid motion.
I get a natural 27 on my initiative.
Amazing. Wow.
21.
Pocket. Damn,
Pocket is
dude.
really fast and
Pocket is
really
jacked.
perceptive and tries to stop things from happening before they happen.
Yep.
And 11.
Nice. Let me get Copernicus's roll because they are also operative in this situation. They
Is
need to be
Copernicus-
leveled.
Is Copernicus a bit? Right.
Well, Copernicus is the wielder of the Elder Wand.
I see. Fuck. Okay, cool.
Just 1 second. I'm going to pull up their sheet. And Copernicus is the last roll. They roll a 12. So, Pocket, you're the first to act.
Right. I begin to I saw the beefcake, and I'm like, oh hey, it's the beefcake, and I see it like going straight for Blake.
Copernicus.
Oh, a bit Copernicus, not Blake.
Copernicus.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, got
it
it.
did
So
find
go straight for Copernicus. So I tried being like, hey, get it to come over here. I'm like, oh, that fuck. So now he's kind of pissed that his powerful magics didn't work on this snake. So he reaches out his hand and says, and casts an ability, momentary stasis, as an action. Beefcake needs to make a Constitution saving throw and magically can force a larger, smaller creature.
Mm-hmm. Let me just check their stats.
My stats.
Save. They fail.
They become encased in a field of magical energy until the end of my next turn, or until they take damage. While encased in this way, they are incapacitated and have a speed of 0. They can do nothing. That's my action. Let's see, double check my bonus actions.
They can't take actions or reactions. They can still do stuff, I guess.
They can't take actions.
Well, they can't move either.
Reactions or move.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves bonus
that's
actions if they have one on their stat block. That's pretty much all of the actions that he's got. So he's going to whip out a dagger and fly over. We're all still together, right? Like, we're all together.
You are all still together. Yeah, you're still. So there's like an altar, which is functionally like a low level stage, and the rest of the room goes pretty far out. You can see from here. You can see that behind pillars there are at least 4 fire creatures of one kind or the other, which haven't quite revealed themselves.
So pretty big room. And you said there were Barrier in here?
There are some Barrier.
You also said there was a crowd. So who all is in this room?
They're like spectral figures who
Right.
Sort of make up the guests at the fest tables. And there's the Barrier that's on stage. There are a few probably scant like Iscardians who are there and about. Several persons and creatures. Not too much. They
Sounds like a lot to me.
you're not sure how they're quite going to react yet.
Okay. Well, anyway, I will fly upwards. I'll be about 20 feet above the party.
Yep, and we'll say that the pillars behind which those creatures are is approximately 90 feet away from you. But you just want to go kind of up and closer onto the stage area.
No, I'm just going. I mean, if that is by proxy, sure. If that's what it is,
By proxy.
I'm going
yeah.
20 feet up above the party.
Okay, that'll take, the ceiling gets closer, so if you want to go that high, you're going to have to go a little bit further into the room, just because of the design of
Oh,
this,
like the ceiling
it's
slopes?
a smaller enclosure, it does slope.
It's got an arc to it. Yeah, so I'll fly up to the ceiling above the party.
Okay.
However high that is.
Yeah.
I'm just getting out of melee range of anything on the floor.
Yeah, and you can see that this wall of fire coming from basically from the portal is beginning to spread across the altar along the walls.
Exits?
There appear to be several passageways on either side of the room that go off in different directions. The main exits are in the back. I feel like I'm doing an airport thing. Yeah, it's just like that.
Closest seeming exit.
Well, the closest seeming exit would be on either side of the room. There are hallways that go out of this space.
Distance.
Distance from you, probably because you went up 20 feet in the air, 25,
Distance
30 feet.
from the party. Like, just laterally.
Okay, distance. Well,
just laterally from the position we're at. Or horizontally, yeah.
Yeah, these are probably
How
like...
much movement is it going to take their characters to get from where they are to the door?
Well, the closest hallway door would be like 25, 30 feet approximately.
Perfect. So, yeah. Pocket flies up, says, this is quickly seeming more and more fucked. We should leave. That's my turn.
You say that. It is now Ruzo's turn.
Can I check? Does Copernicus still have this Elder Wand? Who has the Elder Wand? Does anyone still have it?
Probably
Yes.
Copernicus.
Copernicus does
Okay.
still have the Elder Wand.
Is there any reason we're still holding on to this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Copernicus won't let go of it. He's addicted to it.
Copernicus does still have it.
Copernicus
Okay.
won't let go of it.
But it's not like some sort of, it's not integral to this, to whatever we need to do.
Oh,
is
most
it?
probably,
like-
but like
The way I see it is like it's like a fucking weapon of mass destruction. Like,
Yeah.
I would rather one of
And it's
us-
holding Theodis hostage.
it's holding a lot of them hostage, including maybe Bast too. And I'm just kind of like, hey, like we should keep this, but also be wary. of
Yeah,
everything.
it's very dangerous.
It's like the
okay.
One Ring situation kind of deal.
don't tempt me, Copernicus. What happened to our Derek?
I think
I don't know,
dropped
but-
the
here.
Nice.
Yeah, I could tell that you couldn't hear me. Copernicus does still have the Elder Wand,
Yeah.
to answer your question. And you have been told, or actually you probably haven't been told, but you can tell that Copernicus is very attached to it. And
Okay.
won't part ways with it willingly. Also, in the last session, Ruzo, you would have noticed that the wand sort of seemingly took over him. There was a voice that wasn't his voice that he spoke with that you think might have been the wand's.
Yeah.
And you can see that it is that you have heard Copernicus talking about it in very extreme terms. So that is a thing.
So Leah's in stasis. I think I'll probably just go to the door, or one of the doors, closest one.
Okay, that's fine. The fire hasn't quite made it up to that passageway yet. It's probably about halfway there, and you can sneak your way into that.
As a rogue, you can
Ooh.
dash, hide, or disengage as bonus actions. So you can go twice as far with just a bonus action if you wanted to. But that's up to you.
Oh yeah, you can like sprint, like book it.
I don't want to leave the party behind, and I'd like to communicate what I'm doing. So I will like shove or nudge Blake, and then sort of move, sort of indicate that I'm going to this door.
Aw, jeez, lady.
I'll get to the door and be like, "Come on, quickly!"
Ow!
And I suppose that'll be my turn.
Okay, it's at this point the Bariar that's on stage with you says, "This is not what I signed up for," and darts off into one of the hallways that is closer to the exit. So there are passages that are closer to where you are, and then hallways that are closer to the exit, and they go to the one in your orientation on the right side. And as they come into the room, they say, "Tafran, you will defend the temple. The rest of you, get out of here."
Cool.
And
Poor
you can
Tafran.
see a rather beefy Barriar warrior with a long, double-bladed staff who steps out into the center of the space, and you can hear him call out, "Just come, reveal yourselves!" And out from behind the pillars, they're called fire salamanders appear. Keaton, would you be able to pop a picture
Sure.
of a fire salamander?
You carry on while I grab them.
The Barriar is going to use its held action to dash, charge at one of them, and attempt to smack it with his double-sided blade. He hits. Dealing some damage. Slices into one of the salamanders, which lets out a squelch. And yep, I just need to get the info really quickly. Yeah, it's about 15 points of damage. One of them strikes into it again, missing, and they're the heads, the blades of one of the spears flies into the wall of
Oh my god.
the temple. And then the salamanders, two of them, sort of jump onto the Barriar and begin slashing at it with their sharp. I think that these have sort of sharp daggers that are like gauntlets with blades on the end of them, and so they stab into the Barriar, both hitting 4 times, and doing quite a bit of damage to him. But this one is a pretty tough goat folk, and is able to stay standing.
Oh man.
And the other two begin to dash their way across the space. Oh. And let's see what their speed is. They're able to get to the precipice of the altar space, basically. The two of them kind of come in flanking, but they don't quite attack yet. They use their actions to dash. And so they're, I guess it would be between Copernicus and Blake Sunny and the way out, essentially. It is now Copernicus's turn, who doesn't really have any care for the situation as such. Oh gosh, I keep needing to look up stuff. This is my. Perfect. So Copernicus, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So Copernicus grabs at the Elder Wand and begins speaking at the flaming creature that you once knew as Leo in Elemental. And you can see something in the creature's eyes begin to light up as Copernicus begins speaking this language, which none of you, I presume, are able to understand. It's a very primordial language. And when they pull out the blade, the exit, or from between where you are and where the Barriar is, there is a wall of fire that comes up and begins to fan its way across from the center of this altar space, coming towards the rest of the party, although it hasn't made its way to the two exits on either side of the room. And you can see streaks of plasma beginning to crackle from Copernicus's Elder Wand as he speaks this language and slowly levitates a couple of inches off the ground. Blake, Sunny, it's now your turn.
Huh. Okay, so Copernicus seems to have this, but Blake would like to stick close to him just to make sure that he doesn't go too blood drunk.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh my god, I tapped out. I think I failed the intelligence check IRL. Give me a sec. 5.
Okay, so Blake, Sunny, this is what you think. This is what you do. Yes, you think that even though you're not exactly sure what the situation is with Copernicus, you're concerned for his safety, like very legitimately. And yeah, that is your turn. The
What? No, it's not. I have actions.
wait, no. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool.
You want to so what do you want to do? You know that if you attack this creature, its stasis will be broken.
Does throwing someone count as attacking them?
Your intelligence check is not high enough for you to know that.
Well, then.
I pretty much, yeah. Whatever. I didn't explain anything when I cast it, so do what you want.
Yeah, you might
Respectable.
not even be aware because you've never seen Pocket use this ability before.
That's true. I think it's a 50-50. I'm going to roll a d20 on it, but she's either going to go protect the barrier who seems to be in trouble because a goat person being attacked in front of her probably brings up bad memories. But like
you also you know that the two fire salamanders are also there at the edge of the stage space, so you're gonna have to go through them if you want to get to. Well, there's also a flame barrier, like a wall of fire between that barrier and the rest of the party. They were kind of like to the far end of the room, right? Because they charged to the opposite end of the room, and that's where they're attacking. Does that make sense? They're like two frays.
That's cool. So, oh god, I guess Blake is gonna just start fighting the salamanders instead. I'm really tempted to throw the guy. If anything, you know what? No, Blake's gonna throw the guy.
Okay. Do you throw the guy at the fire salamanders?
That would be funny, but no, I'm gonna throw him away so that he can't really reach us and that I'm between him and Copernicus.
Okay. Yeah, so you throw him into the center of the room, closer to the opposite wall of fire.
23.
It is strong enough. Roll, let's just say roll 2d6.
Oh no! Did I ever tell you about the fucking St. Patrick? And there we go. 2d6. Where did the dice go in this? Because I cannot see it.
That bottom left. You also can just click on any number.
It is unfortunately not in my bottom left right now, so I'm just gonna roll. What the fuck? I'm being an imbecile. Fuck it. Something has changed about this. You know what? I'm just gonna. $10?
Cool. Yeah. So you can see that the effect that was kind of radiating over this creature slowly subsides. Their HP, they didn't have plenty, but yes, that happens. Is that count as one attack, I guess?
That is one attack, so I guess I'll just attack a salamander while I'm here.
Yeah, so then you, well, what weapon are you using?
Great Axe of Wounding.
So you pull out your trusty axe and dive into one of these salamanders.
25.
Hitting,
Cool. 13
landing into it.
plus
Radical.
1d4.
Go ahead and roll that d4.
I'm really sorry. 1. But that one's gonna stack up,
15,
I
yeah?
swear. Yeah.
Nice. That's how much the other one has taken too. That is your turn, Blake.
Yeah.
Very cool. So the fire myriad
Oh my.
pulls itself up quickly, more quickly than you would expect, and begins saying something back to Copernicus in Elemental. And you can see a streak of lightning shoot from the Elder Wand into the flaming creature that you once knew as Leo, and little sparklets, almost like a more intense and fiery fairy fire effect, or like a Super Saiyan energy, are enveloped around Leo, who begins to almost shine, and also lifts into the air slowly. And you can
Oh,
see
God.
puts one arm forward, and again, let me just see what the creatures.
Oh god, I beefed it. That's why I can't do it.
You can see that it has a scimitar, and its scimitar sort of bursts into fire, and it flies forward and begins attempting to slash into Leo. And as it's the case, Leo is kind of using the Elder Wand and like parrying with this pulsing lightning. Although the creature is able to get one hit on your companion, Copernicus.
I shouldn't have thrown him. Oh no.
With 3 strikes. Pocket, you're above the scene. What do? You can see that the fire continues to spread both from the center of the room and from where you were. It's going to enclose itself along the passageway that you're directing your party members out soon, but not immediately. And you can go ahead and make an... wait a second. Never mind. Go ahead and make an intelligence check, actually. Yeah, just make an intel check for me.
Sure thing, boss.
It's for your turn.
How does a natural 25 work for you? I've gotten 2 natural 20s already.
Wow, that
So
does
just tell
work
me
for
what
quite a bit.
Just tell me what was on your mind.
So what
What's
I was
on my
thinking,
mind?
Pocket, may not have necessarily seen what happened with Theodis and Bast.
Mm-hmm.
But your intuition tells you that this is a very powerful and unstable magical item, and you don't think that they're supposed to just shoot off lightning and plasma like that. And it seems like the kind of thing that if you stick around too close to it, when it does what it seems like it's gonna do, it is just it's a guaranteed like death. You think that
You
you're
know
gonna,
what,
like,
brain? That's exactly what I was thinking, my brain, because this seems fucked. So, brain, good thinking. We had the same thoughts, which is, par for the course. 1, I barely know these people. 2, I met them in that castle we're not in anymore. 3, I'm back in my hometown. 4, peace. And I fucking dip as completely as I possibly can. I am going to use Far Step, a 5th level spell, I teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space I can see on each of my turns before the spell ends. It lasts for a minute. As long as I concentrate on it, I can use a bonus action to do it again. So
You want a far step to the end of the room on the other side of this barrier, I'm assuming.
I want to look at each point of egress and use my intelligence to determine which one I think is the one that's going to get me out of this building. He said we're under the 12 factols. I'm looking for stairs going up.
You think that it is the passageway at the far end of the room, the center passageway.
I teleport in the air 60 feet towards it, remaining in the air. How far am I away from it?
You are about 20 feet away or so.
I use my movement to fly to the door.
Yep. This is over the Barriar who's being mobbed by the fire salamanders. You fly your way.
So I should be at least just on the other edge of the door frame at this point. Because I have 30 feet of movement. You said it was...
Yeah, and you can see what looks like a wide, surprisingly spacious spiral staircase that goes up for a way.
Yeah, I've done what I did. There was something else I could have done, but I didn't do it. So here I am. I'm at a spiral staircase going up. That's my bonus action and movement. I still have an action. I'm going to spin around, look into the room. Who seems most threatening right now?
Well, immediately in front of you are two fire salamanders who are mobbing a Barriar. They've kind of climbed onto its back and side and are stabbing it with knife gauntlets.
I'll do that guy a solid because I can, and pop another momentary stasis on one of them. I need to make a con saving throw.
Okay, just let me check their modifier. They fail.
Nice.
So one of them is frozen, and kind of falls off the Barriar. Is that your turn, Pocket?
You owe me one. Look me up. Name's Pocket. And I move up the staircase.
Thank you, adventurer. Russo, you see in front of you a long, dark passageway, and you can hear the sound of Pocket's voice in the distance, but you can't quite make out what they're saying.
You may have at least heard me say, later!
There are still exchanges being made between the fiery creature who's come in and Copernicus in a language that you don't speak, but sounds very primordial. And you can hear Blake Sunny. It sounds like she is in combat. The passageway hall continues on ahead of you. The air, you can sense a stillness, a familiar stillness growing up in the kinds of environments where you did, that you would recognize. It's air that hasn't been necessarily traversed in by living persons as regularly as you think that it's an underground, maybe possibly a dungeon space. You're not exactly positive.
Russo looks down this corridor. She
the hallway
looks
continues
back.
as far as you can see.
She looks back at the rest of the party. She then looks for Pocket and then looks back down the hallway and then says fuck and decides she's going to help Blake and the Barriar. So I'm going to try and engage one of the salamanders.
Yeah, so Russo, you pop out of the hallway and I believe Blake's in combat with one of the salamanders, and there's another one that is just kind of hovering nearby, I want to say. You can engage with that one.
Okay. So I'll pull out my. Would a short bow work on one? Or
Well, if you want to do it from the hallway and that space, you could. And if you stay in the darkness, you could probably use your sneak attack.
okay, I will do that then.
So you have advantage on the attack because you're unseen and the creature, doesn't notice you for sure. They're flanking, essentially.
Okay, so that's 20 to hit.
Just go ahead and roll again.
Oh, hit.
The short bow,
Yeah,
just in case.
Yes.
25.
I'm hungry.
Okay.
I can see you. Are you hungry?
Yes. Just order something.
That'd be 12 on the die.
Okay, wonderful. You find
Sorry, it's been a
purchase
while.
in your target. No, it's okay. And you can hear them yelp out in a gross elemental pain. Is there anything else that you do from the shadows, Ruzo?
I can't attack again, can I?
I don't believe that you have multi-attack.
No.
If you have any maybe items or bonus actions, you could use your bonus action to try and hide again, so that you won't be detected. To like step back out of sight.
Is there anywhere? Can I move further into the room?
You think that you could move further into the room and maybe hide under one of the tables or something like that if you wanted?
I don't care about not being seen at this point, so
Okay.
I'd like to move further into the room.
Yes, you do that. You step into the space bravely.
And I call out to Blake, "You owe me for this. We could have
What?
left. We could have left."
I can't, dude. There's a salamander here. We're talking later.
Forget about it.
What?
Very cool. Is that your turn, Ruzo?
It is, yeah.
It is now the Isgardian, Tafren. He is going to take his now one-bladed staff and attempt to stab it into the salamander, kind of toss it over his shoulder, like a G. And he's able to execute that maneuver. Wow. Doing quite a bit of damage. And the other one is frozen for the time being. And it's the salamander, or he has multi-attack. He has 2 attacks. Sorry. The other one hits also, doing a little bit less damage as he pulls out the staff and then lunges it back in when the creature's prone. We'll say that it's about 15 points of damage. And then it's the salamander's turn. So there is one that's going to come up to you, Ruzo. It is going to attempt to attack you with its gauntlet, which you can see is inflamed red because of the creature's molten body. They roll an 18 to hit. Does that hit you, Ruzo?
I'm not sure.
Could you check your AC?
Your armor class.
15?
Yeah.
So that does hit.
Okay.
Doing a total of 15 points of damage. 10 of it piercing, then 5 of it fire.
Okay.
And then it attempts to come in with the other gauntlet. Also hitting, rolling a 17.
Is that 17 damage?
It's actually 20 points. 20 points of damage.
Okay.
And you can feel the singeing of the hot metal as it stabs into your shoulder. It's a bit gruesome. And two salamanders attempt to do the same thing to you, Blake Sunny. One of them rolls a natural 20, just stabs you really, really well, right in the gut.
Ow.
For 32 points of damage.
Okay, so that's 16 for me, because I'm raging.
Are you
I'm on a
raging?
rager. Oh, dude, barbarian. I rage the first thing. Get up in the morning,
Always
rage.
raging. Always be
Mhm.
raging. Yep. That's their first attack. And their second attack is a 21 to hit.
Hits.
Cool. That is 20 points of damage in total. So I guess
Cool.
that's halved, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. And then the other two continue to, or the other one, I should say, continues to strike out against the Barriar, doing some damage. But it's still got a lot of fight left to give. That is the Salamander's turn. It's now Copernicus's turn. And let's see what happens. Dun, dun, dun. Da, da, dun, dun, da, da. Wow, very interesting. So, as mentioned, Copernicus is kind of lifted up into the air. And his body, or it seems like the shape of him begins to. It's like there's a fire that envelops around him, like a cocoon of a moth, except it's made from fire. As he continues to shout out at Leo in some kind of primordial elemental language, which is very interesting. The lightning strike from his wand continues, and let me see what it seems like, almost like a witch bolt effect, if you're familiar with the spell, that strikes into the charging Leo, and we'll say does some damage. Just let me roll it. Oh, okay. We'll just round that up. Cool. So you can see that some really, really heavy damage is done to the salamander, or to the fiery creature that you once knew as Leo. And that's Copernicus' turn. They both begin to go a little bit further up into the air. Blake Sunny, as you begin your turn, please make another intelligence check.
Oh, it was a nat 20, but now it's a 13. Fucking hit the corner.
You remember what happened with Bast and Theodos, and you see that the passageway, the two passageways leading out of the room, aren't quite closed off by these walls of fire. But you think that if you stay in this situation, that it's possible that you'll sustain some pretty sizable damage, or that, you know,
I like
it could
that.
leave you with some like pretty significant burns. That would probably be the way that you would think about it. It would definitely fuck up your feathers.
Blake like has like a fucking absolute light bulb moment about this and is like, "Oh God, Russo, you gotta thank me later, but we gotta run away." And
That's what I was saying.
what?
You idiot.
What? And Blake is just sprinting at her like full speed, breaking engagement, taking attacks of opportunity from these two shards. She's going.
We're underground in the catacombs with fire. The amount of smoke that's in this room.
Only one of them attempts to attack you, the one that you're engaged with, rolling an 18 to hit.
Hit. Just
I'm sorry, a 15. Blah.
50 misses.
It swipes wide.
Until
Yeah.
next time, Chode. And Blake's gonna sprint away.
So you dash into the area that Ruzo just came from.
Yeah.
That's very
Just
good.
like running past Russo, like, ah!
And we'll say that the lightning strike from Copernicus's wand pushed the creature back a little bit, and it flies forward again and begins slashing into Copernicus, who is again trying to parry with the elemental plasma streaks that are coming from his Elder Wand. The scene gets more and more intense. But amazing. There's a discharge of energy. Copernicus is able to dodge all three attacks, and one of the creature's scimitars flies through the air, and it lands into the fire scimitar that is in front of Ruzo, killing it instantly. It goes through the creature's head, and it like impales it into the ground. About that much the scimitar sticking in. And so there's just one salamander left behind the wall of fire on the opposite end of the room. Yeah, that happens. And it brings us back to the top of the round. Pocket, amidst all of the sounds of fighting and scuffles, you think that you can hear someone shout out, "You idiot!"
I'm like, yeah, they are pretty stupid. Pocket's chaotic neutral, and he barely knows these people, to be honest. He doesn't want to just leave them in this flaming room. I look into the room. How far away are Russo and Blake?
You can't see Russo. When you come into the space, there are still.
Well, I don't move. I don't move in. I just turn around and use my eyes, looking through the door.
If you turn around, use your eyes looking into the door, what you see is a Barriar being engaged with two flaming salamanders and a wall of fire.
No,
separating you from the opposite end of the room.
Nothing I can do.
Out of sight.
Nothing I can do.
You're not really
Whatever.
sure.
I'm going to fly up the stairs. I fly up the stairs.
You're not able to get entirely up the stairs with your whole movement, but you can begin making your way. You're surprised at how far down these
you would be surprised at how far I can move.
I guess that's fair.
How far do I need to move to get up these stairs?
Well,
because that's where he's going, and he's going to do everything he can to move as quickly and as far as possible on his turn. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I imagined that, I mean, this stairway is like pretty large, and the math of going around and up at the same time, I don't know, but it's several stories worth
I
of
spend my
travel.
turn going up. I teleport,
fun.
I dash, I do all kinds of cool magic stuff. That's my turn.
Yeah, you zip, 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 and you get some ways up. You continue to travel. And that is your turn, Pocket. Ruzo, it's your turn. As a rogue, you are able to disengage as a bonus action.
Can I
and the-
see this barrier and what's happening with him?
You might not be able to see it very well because there's a wall of fire between you and it. Actually,
I
you may hear
see
the sound. You
anyone-
can probably hear the sounds of scuffling, and you're like aware of it. And you have a pretty high perception, so you may just have been able to see Pocket flying away down the spiral or up the spiral staircase at the opposite end.
So is Copernicus also on this side of the fire?
Yeah. Copernicus is in a standoff with Leo, which he appears to be winning.
Okay. I'm going to disengage and follow Blake.
That's awesome. You pop into the hallway. The sounds of the fighting continue on the opposite end of the wall of fire. Copernicus and the fire elemental creature continue to have their fighting. Is there anything that you want to do, or do you just Blake, or do you just want to continue in the hallway with Ruzo once you
I
kind
think-
of get?
Like, I don't know. I think at this point, Blake's just like hanging on to the people who aren't dead or dying or being possessed by a wand. So she'll keep running because Russo's also running. You know, it's what
Yep.
they'll both do to survive. So we get out.
That's fine. I just have to look up. That's what they're called. Perfect. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. So at the end of the round, no one might be able to see it very directly, but all of you, including Pocket, are able to hear the sound of some kind of discharge. Pocket, it's more faint for you. For Blake, Sunny, and Ruzo, you might be able to see a column of fire flood into the hallway. It doesn't come up to you, but you can feel the heat of it. And after that explosion, you can hear the sound of Copernicus's voice. Blake, where are you? Hey!
Blake about faces and starts sprinting back down the corridor like, Copernicus, buddy, stay where you are. Don't try and follow the sound of my voice. It echoes a lot. So I'm gonna run back to see if I can find Copernicus after the bloodshed.
Yeah, you come
Can
into the
I-
space.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, what do you do, Ruzo?
I kind of want to grab Blake and just sort of say, like, maybe this isn't the best idea considering what just happened.
Oh,
How-
take a day off. He's fine.
It doesn't
You
sound
are
like there's
a
anything
bit
up
too carefree.
with his voice, to be fair.
Look, he needs help. For real. And I'm not
Okay.
gonna turn him down.
I'll reluctantly follow.
Thank you.
Don't think
And,
that I have the stats for the Elder Wand right in front of me. It's pretty
So-
powerful. Pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume so.
So-
It's some like homebrew weapon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I
It's from
remember
Harry
the last
Potter.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the Yeah, Ruzo, you say your piece. Blake responds. You both come into the space. You can see that the fire salamanders are just little pockets of ichor, fiery ichor on the ground. The Baryar, who was in the far edge of the space, appears. He's still there, although he looks a little bit charred. And you can see Copernicus, who's basically fine. You can see the edge of his wizard's hat is singed and smoking a little bit, and he has in his hand, well, he still has the wand for one thing, but he has in his hand a little fiery red colored egg. And he says, "What a beautiful thing." And he sort of rubs the egg, and there's a little crack in the shell. And you can see come to life from the shell what looks to be something like a little dragon. It's like a red, fiery, elemental dragon that peeks its head up and immediately crawls onto Copernicus's shoulder. And he says, "Oh, that's okay. That's fine, Leo. I think he's accepted me as
Getting
the owner
weirder.
of this wand."
I think he's reincarnated and is a baby. Hello, little dude.
a
Blake
second
speaks
life
animal.
for this. And the dragon says, you don't have to use that. I could speak. I could speak if I wanted to speak most of the time.
Now, you're 1 day old. You don't get to call the shots here.
Pocket,
mean-
you hear this explosion. You maybe can just begin to also hear the noise of the bar on
That's
the opposite.
what I'm focusing on.
Yep. And so you get further and further up, and with your teleportation, it doesn't take a terribly great amount of time until you're able to climb the several stories staircase. And
I'm going 120 feet every 6 seconds, so
Yep. Yeah. You're
I should
flying.
be able to climb it really quickly.
And
Is
you
deceleration a thing? Like, you have to worry about that
No,
in
I'm not
D&D.
moving that rate. I'm like flittering 60 feet up the stairs and then teleporting, flittering, teleporting.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yep. And you eventually find yourself in familiar territories. You can't believe it. You're in the 12 factals.
That
And you can hear the sound of tourists and some entertainers who are up on the higher levels and people who are doing observations in the 12 factals hall.
Okay,
but you're coming up from the deep hall.
yeah.
Which is wider, and we'll say it's a little bit bigger than in dimensions than in the space. But there are several large tables with whole companies worths of
Remind
adventurers
me.
having feasts, and
I was tasked with retrieving red what from the illithid?
void salt, pink void salts.
Right. Yes. Pink void salts.
And you got them,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Job's done. I go back to work. I'm gonna start heading to Paltry's Pastries.
Let's see.
I say, "Oh, hey, bar patrons, what's going on? Hey!" And I start heading toward the door. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's fine. You
I refuse to ride
On-
your railroad. I'm fucking with you, but that is what that's what Pocket is. That's his goal. Like, he was
It's-
never given
it's
any
your
reason to
intention.
need to be with all these other people. He was supposed to get pink void salts and bring it back to his boss. took a little bit of a detour in the middle of it, but he's back. So he's going.
Well, and it
back
hasn't
there.
been that long.
Exactly,
Really.
yeah.
Yeah. So, because you know the date,
Intrinsically,
actually, you know that you're not terribly late on the
I checked
date.
my watch.
And when you come into, well, actually, it's at this time.
Well, I walk out the door.
I should say,
Yeah, I walk out the door. Like that's where I go.
there's one detail that I didn't quite get. When this explosion happens, the building itself sort of shakes. It feels like there's a shaking.
I
that
don't
you
feel
can
it.
Feel almost like the realm itself is shaking.
I
If
see
you don't
it.
Feel it.
I see
You
it, but I don't
see
feel
it.
it because I'm like in the
Yes.
air.
Yeah. You would. It's not like it shakes under your feet. Excuse me.
Whoa, this building's gonna come down. I better get out.
And when you make your way into the entrance hall, you find your boss, Paltry, sitting at a table with what appears to be some kind of orange-skinned humanoid figure. And
Do they have
she
drinks
waves
on the
you
table?
over and says, "Hey, Pocket." Yes, they do have. They have a couple of bottles and some tapas.
I just go over and I dunk my head in the nearest open cup and just start guzzling it down.
It's a pretty nice vintage. You think that this might be elderberry wine?
And then like I pull my face out of it and I whip my hair back. It's all covered in wine.
Lovely. And Paltry says, "Pocket, we were just talking about you.
Oh yeah, I hope good things.
Always good things. You've helped so much getting to the level of doing bakeries and stuff like this. There are so few people who have the skills and the capability to do the very technical work, like actually pushing it. Because we're not just making baked goods. You know, you've heard this before.
Memories.
You can tell that you're
making
boss is a little bit
memories.
deep in our cups.
We're not making baked goods. We're making memories. I know you say it every day."
And she says, "That's what. Yes, I'm just out here scoping this. I'd like you to meet this. His name's Ansem.
Hello?
Ansem, the wise, Ansem the and something, and he nods, kind of deftly at you, and she says, "Yes, it's going to be big order, some kind of celebration is happening in oh gosh, where in the city again? Where all
That's really cool. Can we talk about this last job?
And you can see her eyes get a little bit wide, and
Is this a cool place to talk about it?
and she says, "The mortuary. Yes, you would have heard. We can. Yes. I presume that you've retrieved the goods."
That's presumptuous of you.
Well, I've known you for long enough, Pocket. Your disposition. You've done a job.
I
wouldn't
did
assume you'd
retrieve
dunk
the
your
goods.
head in that.
I did retrieve the goods. It was not easy and not a good time. After I got them.
And you can see there's a look of concern on Paltry's face. Meanwhile, back down in the basement, what does the rest of the party do?
I think we're tending to the wounded when necessary and just kind of catching base with Copernicus. But Blake also wants to talk to that barrier. Like,
is he dead? He was very charred.
He's not dead.
Okay.
He does seem a bit charred. When you talk to him, he says, "Yes, I once was with a group of adventurers who took on the fire primordial Megara." And that was
Whoa, buddy!
so
Damn.
this isn't my first time. I'll be
Ooh,
fine. Yes,
big
I'll be
accent, is it?
fine.
Damn, well, you want a drink? I could do with a drink.
A drink? Yes. Yes, well, there's no good sitting around these old ghosts, and you can see the specters on the inn seem pretty like mystified. Some of them are like silently clapping, or they're very taken with the scene. It's probably one of the more interesting things they've seen in an eon.
Sweet.
What were you guys doing down here? You were expecting us, weren't you?
And the Baryar says, "No, that's just a saying among our people. It adds to the mystery."
And here I thought you knew what was going on.
Damn,
You
way to
can
make like
never
anybody who
assume.
comes through a portal feel really important. It's been 1,000 years. We've been expecting you.
Ding you.
Yeah, turns out it's just a saying.
I
Where
love
everybody
that.
knows your
Disappointing.
name.
Blake takes a note because she technically owns a business or co-owns a business, so she's like, I got you.
You have not made that investment yet, but I
Oh
like that
God.
you remember that I believe tomorrow evening there is like another live event that's supposed to be happening.
Oh
Because
God.
you're coming back to the bar, if I remember correctly.
Huh. Hold up. Guy, big guy. Do you want to come to my bar?
And he says, "Well, I was thinking we would just get a drink upstairs, but if that's where we end up, uh, we'll drink on your coin, adventurers."
Respectable, my guy. I like it. And she's gonna slap him on the back. And how does Copernicus look?
You can hear the singeing. Oh, please,
Do you
don't do
need
that
anything? Should we
again.
take you to a hospital or somewhere
The
before we
Baryar reaches
drink?
into a pouch and grabs a potion, and you can see some of his wounds begin to heal. He says, "I'll be okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Like I said, nothing haven't been through before." And literally, like, scrapes off some charred, blackened skin, and fresh skin is, kind of underneath it. These potions are very good.
Noted. Cool.
You have
So
to be careful. I knew someone who was addicted to red potion. Very dangerous.
I understand that reference.
Blake also notes to add red potion to cut the drinks at her bar with red potions in future. What a bad
Yikes.
idea. Nice.
That was yikes, not a nice.
I don't know what red potion is, so I'm kind of like, I just assumed it was healing, but okay.
It is healing, yes.
Cool. But yeah, so with regards to Copernicus, how is he acting?
He seems totally normal sauce. And all of you are able to come up through the stairs. You have a conversation. You catch
Normal
up. You
sauce?
touch base. You don't see anything amiss about Copernicus. He says he talks about the wand a little bit. It says that it's like, I guess it's like his now, and that Leo is this like suited dragon is no longer a threat. He says it must be the
Is
case
he
that the
even
wand has
still
chosen
Leo
him.
at this point?
And you say that, and the dragon says, "I'm right here. I can hear you. Do you have any food?"
Oh, wow, it is Leo. Damn.
I will throw him some rations that I
And
have.
you realize that it's the last of your rations. You toss at Leo. Through all of your traveling and plane hopping, and especially because the last time you were taken from the city without any city dwellers don't carry a full load of rations on them at all the times, not in the city of Sigil. It's not like you were preparing for this last adventure. So it's sort of the last of your deep pocket rations, and you give it to Leo. It says, "All right, remind me to buy you
Better
some
savor
salt,
that."
okay?"
Leo gets a tiny slap on the back of the head. Like, don't be rude.
And all of you come up into the bar, and you can see when you make it into the main hallway where the bar yard says, "This is they have the best selection at this one." You can see Pocket awkwardly floating around the table,
drenched in wine from
Yeah.
like head to shoulders.
Hey!
I'm like,
It's a little
I'm
pocket
like,
rocket!
I'm like on the table. Because remember, I'm like a foot and a half tall or so, maybe 2 feet tall. Kind of like a large fairy. But I'm like 2 feet tall. I'm like on the table, like squatting. I'm like got my hands down on the table, and I just keep like dunking my head into the cup in between sentences. I'm like, yeah, Castiel was a really cool guy. Until I fell through a drain portal. I don't remember. Can you, Derek, remind me exactly like what happened when I went to meet Castiel? I got the void salts, and
he was weighing out the money when his hand slipped and there was like a
Motherfucker.
discharge. Yeah, it was just an accident.
motherfucker,
Like-
he slipped and he knocked some bullshit around, and I went halfway across the fucking wheel, all the way to Bitopia, fucking Iscard,
Celestia.
Celestia, one of the upper planes. Could have been worse, but there was still fucked people there in a fucked castle, and I met some other fucking cagers, some Burks. I think they had just lost some friends. I don't know. But we
And then you
found their
see
way.
them.
Oh, there they are. There's the cutters right there.
Copernicus says, I guess we're not friends then. All right.
I mean, we're not friends. You're some people that I met in the fucking castle that I accidentally fell into. Sorry. Come have a drink. Maybe we can
Hey,
actually
we
get to
can
know
be
each
friends,
other.
sure. We brought this dude! And Blake's gonna gesture at the barrier.
Yes,
well,
my name
honestly-
is Taffrin.
honestly-
Let's get a.
Honestly, hold on, little kobold guy. No, we're not friends. You've done really whack shit from the moment I've met you. You've been really sketchy about that wand, which you should not have. You do not deserve to have it. And I'm not saying that as a
says,
superiority
"The wand
thing.
chose me.
I'm
I
saying
didn't choose the wand. The wand
an-
chose me.
Oh god, you made him
Someone
sad!
to give me a drink."
it belongs in a museum.
I'd
And
like
there's
to
just- he
interject and say I had no
Copernicus like
expectations
poops
of
a drink
friendship.
in his hand, and someone who comes up to the bar like comes, and you can't do that here.
Thank you for saying that, which
takes his drink.
you've even further solidified yourself as the chillest person of the group of you that I've met so far. You're the one I
What
would
did
be
you say,
most
Russo?
interested in being friends with. She
Uh,
said,
well,
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, you peeled out of there pretty quickly, so no, I'm not interested in being friends with you.
Like, yeah, sorry, I was working. Like, I've been on the clock this whole time. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, you were? Who do you work for?
I
Blake's gonna
pointed
pull
I
up a
pointed
chair
the
and
drunk
sit.
orc in front of me at the table.
Oh,
Are you getting paid for
oh my
this?
god, you're drinking with your boss?
Russo
Okay.
says you're getting paid for this, and I turned to Paltry, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm getting paid for this. I better be getting paid for this. I'm at least getting paid for this. And I slide a bag over to Paltry.
And she, pops it in her satchel, and she pops over and says, "Well, Ansem was just telling us that there are curious things that the diviners of the Orders of the Dead say that there's going to be a great awakening." And he pulls out a ooh, actually, it's not. Oh my goodness. Not this one.
Hmm.
I need to. Sorry, I accidentally closed the page.
Command Shift Tab. Control Shift Tab. Or T.
Yes, this person says there was a diviner who it gave some kind of prophecy. The White Queen is troubled but can't say why. The Black Queen hates the white and gives the assassin a black coat. The assassin steals upon the White Queen. She can't see him gliding through the shadows. The sword screams. The White Queen falls. Her city falls. Stones in the cavern crush the soothsayer. The trees burn. The tree burns and thrashes in agony. Branches break and twist and grow together from the ash.
So these people want an order of black and white cookies? What does this have to do with pastries?
And
Do you know anything about? Are you related
He-
to Crone by any chance? Blake was there addressing the boss who is saying all these prophecies, etc.
and the figure says, I would not with any good sense make an agreement or subject myself to a work contract for one like Nog Hazal.
Yeah, I heard that lady's fucked.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
But anyway, Paltry, what does this have to do with cookies? Hello.
And Paltry says that she has been tasked through Ansem, who is a representative from the orders, one of the orders who keeps themselves in the mortuary, for a celebration. We're making essentially black and white root pastries. They were originally made to resemble the roots of the world tree. They're little like twisted, almost like cinnamon twists, but they're like root pastry things.
Now,
Like a massive 10,000 unit order.
that it sounds awesome. That's exactly what I need right now. Is just some work in the shop. I'm done with field work. I'm ready to start
And-
cooking, baking.
Yeah. And
Telling this to
Paltry
Paltry.
says, well, if that's all good as far as I'm concerned.
What are we doing here? Let's get to work.
And she says, "Oh, no, we'll start tomorrow. No, that's
All
fine.
right.
Today,
You're right, I'm
just
tuckered.
relax."
You're right.
Yes. And
I pull a cookie out of my
yeah.
pocket.
So what? Yeah, your stress cookie. Yeah. So, is there anything? Everyone else is just here at this bar. Where's everyone else's heads? Blake, Sonny, what are you thinking? You don't know where your dad is. It occurs to you.
Blake doesn't know where her dad is, but she's probably more like focused on this kind of weird, intricate business network that seems to be going on right now. She wants to talk to this dude, and also maybe get the number of the guy who is the really strong and is still kind of charged. He seems really cool.
Yeah, he tells you that he lives in the Iscardian community that takes resident under the 12 Factals. They're guardians and protectors of that space, which is believed to be one of the oldest spaces in the city. He tells you, let's see how much he knows. Well, he tells you that he doesn't know very much about the personal history, but that the Barriar and Iscardians have been entrusted to protecting the under temple of the 12 Factals for as long as he can remember. And they're so between protecting the space itself and ensuring that it's well kept, they also provide boons and sort of a good sending off to adventurers who choose to go into the dungeons even further below, the crypts, the catacombs, in which you would have explored, Blake Sunny.
Hmm.
And
So,
he kind of says, yes, most adventurers either come back afraid very quickly, or, they're never seen for weeks and months, if they're ever seen again.
oh yeah, one of my friends died down there for a bit. He's fine now, I think. But yeah,
You also
but
took that journey.
but you know anything about Ptah, my dude?
The Baryar nods his head, but you can see the orange-skinned. You think that he might be some kind of mage, based on
Hmm.
his clothing. His eyes kind of perk up when
Yeah,
you mention Ptah.
interesting. Okay, so you do know about him.
The wizard or the mage responds, the cult of Ptah is one that's shrouded in secrecy. And yet, I can't help but wonder if the secrets of that order are in some ways inextricably tied to the lore of the city itself. I come to this bar, I like to meet here, not just because it's a neutral ground among the different factions, which it is, but because it's a very primal place. And on more than one occasion, I've seen those who I might presume to have some of the accoutrement or images associated with Ptah disappear in spaces or exchange knowing glances in the corners.
That's good, cause that portal we went through, it was related to a Ptah-based cult religion. Um, but it's curious that it's inside your temple. Very
And
curious.
Paltry says, well, that's not exactly right. Ansem's associated with the mortuary, and the 12 Factals is kind of neutral ground in the city, where no faction reigns. It was originally supposed to be the mainstream story is that it was the site where the 12 factions originally came to plea for the lady for extra planar protection or something like that. I don't know the details.
No, this is good.
Where the city was founded as such.
With the prophecy in mind, then, that you just told me about, what do you think's going on here? Because I have no clue. I have no clue.
And Paltry says, I have spent the best part of my life, just trying to make the most sophisticated and advanced baked goods. Not really clued into that advanced lore.
Do you guys need a barista? Coffee and pastries, they go hand in hand. I'm looking for work.
She nods her head.
She
I think
does.
I need
She
something
does that
normal.
when she's drunk. You can't take that as an affirmation or a denial.
Thank you, Parker.
She
I'll
says,
ask her
That's
if
a
she
I'm
really
nods her
don't
head.
worry about
strange
it.
business.
It's a no nod. She doesn't say.
That's a shake your head. Nod is up and down. Shake is no.
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
If I read the words, he nodded his head. They're saying yes.
You're right. You're right. It's fine.
I'll swing by when we're sober. Let's talk business. And that's where I'm going to conceive the scene. Ugh.
So Ansem continues that what is believed to be known about Ptah is that he was one of the primal deities. He may have shared creation of the universe with Ao, and among those very, very first entities that were spawned out of the great chaos of the void and abyss. Lilith, who was the goddess of chaos and chaotic natures, created from the essence of Etheria itself. And her sister, Lily, twin, is the goddess of ordered nature. And they existed alongside Farah, the deity of truth, and Korra, the deity of deception. And they say that it was the kiss of truth and deception which inspired the pairing or the orientation of the cult of Ptah. And for many centuries, the cultists of Ptah knew each other through a deceptive kiss, whatever that means. It is said that Lilith attempted to usurp powers from those pre-primal creation gods, and that Ptah helped her in these aspects. Some have known him in other titles as the Great Revealer, the Opener of Ways, the Occult One. But it's said that if he has any qualities which are like the humans that he employs in his cult, it was for his love of Lilith. And you probably all remember, having gone through that portal, the deity Ptah's only words that you could understand because of a spell, I think, were Lilith. Which, I guess, in your head at least, what's the word? Makes it seem like the situation might be more true. That it was really Ptah that you saw. And it was said that Ptah removed his own eye just to create a portal in which he could see his beloved. And that whatever forces rose against their rebellion have probably led them to whatever dismal state they are today, where Ptah is a cult that can't worship openly, and few, if any, who are subservient to Lilith remain, and basically none of them worship openly.
Cool.
So that's what you learn about Ptah from this mysterious stranger.
Pocket
And
is like unengaged. He doesn't know anything about
Yeah.
what they're talking about. Doesn't care.
yeah, no, it's weird. It's like listening to someone else talk about French film or something.
Yeah, no,
It's like, you don't
exactly.
have
No.
it in.
So yeah,
yeah.
imagine someone's talking about French film and you don't know, care to know, and you're sitting there with your drink. This is a cool conversation. Can we talk about something else, maybe?
Russo, what are you doing in this time?
I'm just listening to this whole story, and I'm just very confused about how all of this connects.
I'm confused with how it connects with the pastries. I know my boss said
That's
something about
exactly my point.
I know my boss just said something about having to make 10,000 pastries, and that's all I heard. I don't know who or what or why they want. I'm ready to start baking.
I was so lost with that riddle.
If I may, as someone who focuses a lot on getting the perfect cup of coffee, getting closer to the god of secrets themselves really does help me feel like I'm a better barista, you know?
It is a lore. It's canonical lore among baristas in like the original training day that there is somewhere the secret for the perfect cup of coffee that exists, and you can really find it.
We just gotta find that fucker.
Barring that, it's kind of the joke is barring that, this is what we do.
Yeah, everything's just a tribute to that one cup of coffee. Like,
The perfect cup, yes. And it's at this point, a little Modron bursts
Whoa.
into the space, and its little squat legs go on the table. It holds out a little envelope for you, Blake Sunny.
well, thank you, good sir.
Yeah.
Modron.
Blake
Oh.
takes it and pushes him.
Does it say you've
And-
been served?
It's never a good thing whenever you get poached.
Yeah. Well, it does. I don't think legally you have to say that you've been served in Sigil. But you, you open it and it is a summons letter.
Got him.
Summons to the Great Court to testify. It's you notice this is your third warning. If you do not respond to this summons, further actions will be taken. Gosh, I think that it's by the harmonium.
Oh my god! Alright. Blake, still drunk, is gonna get up and start walking to the people's court.
Ooh, that's a
Not
red
the
letter.
people's
That's your
court.
third strike, bud. You better get out there before the hardheads come after you.
It is
Oh, man. Wouldn't be the first time.
It's not the people's court. It's just the main courthouse in the ladies'
Oh, it's the
court.
main courthouse. That?
Yeah.
What did I do
No,
to
the-
piss them off?
The kangaroo court.
Fucking-
It is
That's okay.
Well, it's not for a court case, right? It's for an interview regarding. It tells you it's regarding an incident at a certain address, which I believe was in. This is the great thing about having this map. Oh gosh, crazy. Let me just check, because I believe it was in the Hive.
It was in a hive, if we're talking about the bit where Blake killed a lot of
The
people.
massacre.
It wasn't a massacre. It
No,
was
no, not
mostly
the
people who were
massacre.
mugging.
Oh.
at first.
Actually, well,
Actually, you're cool with that. That's totally fine. That happens all the time.
That,
You weren't paying
Well, that
taxes.
just hasn't been litigated yet, and the crimes reported in the Hive. Yeah, I would say that it must have happened in the lower ward, because if it happened in the Hive, you wouldn't get an injunction, or you wouldn't get it ordered to the court about it. You haven't heard that's the thing, is you might get a case about that in the People's Court, but it would have to be.
Wait.
It's a separate conversation.
So what's
Blake will-
this case about?
Blake will
Blake
shrug.
Sunny, remember, make an intelligence check, Blake Sunny.
You know what that means. Four.
Yeah, you don't know. You've forgotten.
It doesn't matter what if you know. You need to go.
Blake will grab Copernicus's arm and just be like, "Hey, dude, do you want to be my lawyer? Because I need a legal representation."
You should get a real lawyer.
Oh my
Copernicus
God.
says,
You
know,
should
I represented
not-
myself in court
No.
when they found me.
Yeah,
You know who would be a
experience.
great
No.
lawyer? We should get Mold Man involved.
You know who would be a great
I don't think we can
lawyer?
afford him.
A lawyer would be a
Oh, look,
very
it's fine.
good
It's
lawyer.
just an interview. It's just an interview. I don't need a lawyer for that. Like, come on. Like, Blake will go.
And you can see this tall blue, almost like a chicken man with a little vest
Oh,
on,
no.
who's sitting at the bar, interested.
I
turns
say, I
around.
say.
Well, I happen to be a lawyer. What kind of trouble are you in, child?
Oh God, not
You
this
know,
fucker.
My dad used to say never to trust lawyers who you met in bars. Just saying. I'm sorry, dude. I don't think this is it.
He shows you his card and he says, well, my name is Blue Regard P. Owens.
What's the P stand for?
Percival.
Nice.
Yes. I was trained in a legal court by well, among other people, a very, very prominent Dabbis legal scholar.
Cool. You know what? I'll think about you. Us bird people need to stick together. And
Well, I wouldn't just offer my services to anyone, but I happen to know your father.
you.
So,
What color are his eyes?
so as your lawyer, I declare that y'all are in a 12-piece bucket of trouble.
I feel like,
He
given the
tells you-
earlier analogy your father gave, maybe this isn't the lawyer file.
Yeah.
I think that your dad's eyes are like aren't they like a yellow amber? Is that
They're
right?
meant to be a yellow amber. I just want to see if he gets it right, is the thing.
He does. Yeah, he does
Oh,
say it.
fuck.
This could be the
Hmm.
lawyer.
I'll see you. I'll see you later, my good friend.
And
Yeah.
yeah, he says, well, if you're in any real trouble, Blue Regard P. Owen, you can just scratch at the outline where the P is, and I should be able to come and find you. Anywhere in the city, that is.
Out of
That you might need a
curiosity,
lawyer.
What are your rates?
And the bird chuckles and says, well, between family friends, we don't need to talk about that here. We'll talk in my office, please. And he
Where-
hands you a small he calls over to the bartender and he orders you a small he orders you a medium glass of wine and a small vial of blood. He pops the blood in the wine and hands it to you.
Thank you. And I'm gonna set it down on the bar.
He says, well, I'm here with some friends, but it was wonderful to meet all of you. Blue Regard P. Owen. Yes, keep me in thoughts.
Okay, look, if you
Okay.
hire that guy, the best deal you would get, I know this is just an interview, but if you hired that guy, like, to defend you, the best deal you would get is an insanity deal on the grounds that you hired that man to be your attorney.
And you can see him off as he goes.
He'd say some shit like, Your Honor, that's not something we can doodle-do.
Yeah, but he's really funny though. I
He-
kind
he
of want to see what he does, you know?
He wants us to go back to his office to hear his rates. He's gonna charge us before we even get into the door.
Look,
He's
I
a-
gotta go right now. The police are literally coming for me, but I'm gonna be thinking about that man. Happy drinking, you guys. Have one
Yeah,
on
his
me.
business card just says bird lawyer.
Bird is misspelled like the R is
Bird
backwards.
law.
No, yeah. He
Oh, bird
specializes in
law.
bird law, yeah.
Damn. Cool.
And I guess
Oh my
this would
god,
be
I just
okay.
now remembered that Blake is a bird.
Yeah, a bird lawyer. So you need a bird lawyer.
Exactly, you know?
Well, Your Honor, if you think about it with bird law.
If you look at the anthropological section of our legal code.
Uh,
Oh my god.
so are
Oh,
people able to
fuck.
go on for very much longer, or is it
Gonna have
okay
to
if
call
I
it
just
pretty soon.
refill my drink?
Yeah,
I think that's okay. Well, I think I'm still gonna go grab my bottle, and
It's
then I'll
fine.
give us the sort of rundown of what happens next.
That's fine.
I'm just thinking about Always Sunny now.
Yeah. They actually just started a podcast with Mac, Charlie, and Dennis, those three actors, where they rewatch old episodes and then kind of talk about them. They've done the first 3 episodes so far, but it's mostly just them talking about shit that happened around the same time, really barely even talking about the episodes, but it's really entertaining. It's called the It's Always Sunny podcast.
I might have to have a look at that. Yeah, I didn't realise how loud she was when she came up to the mic.
Who?
Oh,
My
the
cat.
cat. It was
Yeah.
so cute seeing it, though.
I
was
heard
like,
the purring. It was like,
Yeah.
oh. It was so sweet. What a good cat. I'm happy that your cat loves you. I wish that was
my
it.
cats don't purr that loud, so I always appreciate it when I hear it.
See, we don't like, as is a long-standing tradition with myself. We don't have a cat, but we've kind of like there's a neighboring cat who comes to our house, and we're not
We
stealing
met
him.
the cat. We met the
Lunch Money
cat.
Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah. So we let him in because it was raining that morning we came to see you. And we let him in. He was really calm, dried him off and everything, and
And
he
then
was so
he bites
cute.
the fuck out of you.
We were petting him. He spun round and bit Michael on the leg and ran out the door. Michael wasn't even involved in this, like, at all.
Yeah.
He was just a bystander.
He does that with me. Like, literally, Robin will be petting him and it will be fine, and I'll be working because, work from home sometimes. And, like, Lunch Money Lewis will just, like, fucking stop, drop, roll away from Robin, scratch my feet 100 times and leave. And I'm just like, stop.
He properly bit him, like, mid-calf.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, really went for him.
Like, teeth going in. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Lunch Money Lewis is a dickhead. I don't like that cat anymore.
We were like, oh, it's a really cute cat. We let
He's
him
so
in, and we just
beautiful.
turned around very quickly.
Yeah, that was honestly just his way of saying Happy Halloween, I think. Oh, holy fuck. Actual bastard, man. I love him.
How are your new Doc Martens?
Oh, dude. Okay. For context, my friend, really nicely for my birthday just got me vegan Doc Martens, and I'm like still in
Nice.
shock about it.
How do they
But they
taste?
fucked up.
Do they taste like real Doc Martens?
Yeah, they are, and unfortunately, like they're so fucking good. They're so nice, but they fucked my feet up. Like I've
Oh,
had to stop
no.
wearing them for a week because like it was literally like destroying my shin, and I thought I was gonna get an infection if I just kept like wearing them. So I was just like, fuck it, like we're gonna wait for a bit. But
Were they,
round
like-
two's coming real soon. Like
Were they like
Yeah, they
just
don't.
chafing your legs or what?
I can show you if you want. It's not like gross. It's just like a little like.
Oh, I get. Yeah,
Disgusting.
that kind of boot rash kind
yeah.
of thing. You see,
It used to be double the size.
wear
It's been like a
thicker
week.
socks, like
I
taller.
like. I do, but the thing is, like, because my station is so far away, I'm gonna end up walking like fucking like 4 miles a day anyway. So like, it will just like there and back, and it's like it's just gonna fuck me up, like no matter what,
Yeah, you were so happy when you got them. You were like an inch taller and just power walking.
All of my friends are taller than me, and then for like one brief shining moment when I wore those Doc Martens, I was the big one, and I felt so good. God, I want to wear them again. I just want to heal so I can get them back on.
Oh ho.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Cool. So yeah, Blake Sunny, you head off in the direction of the courthouse. So that's Blake Sunny gone. You can see Russo Pocket getting more antsy. Copernicus is left. What do? You sort of have the thought that you haven't been able to touch base with any of your family. The Blagovich group originally sent you to capture the Quicksilver substance, as it has been known. And you
So
sent them a
I'm-
message saying that you had it last.
Yeah. So
that the
I've
party was
left
gonna
the
kill them.
wine. I'm not touching that at all. And I'm going to go outside and try and find one of those things that I can use to communicate with.
Yeah, there are plenty of these
Sending
like
boxes?
sending zone booths, sending booths.
Sending
yeah.
bucks.
And I'm going to send a short message saying, Quicksilver gone, sorry.
Sorry.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
It is
Oh,
gone,
wait,
isn't it?
wait,
Elsha
wait.
had it, and then
Yeah.
now Elsha's not here, right?
Yeah, Quicksilver gone, murder plot thwarted, sorry.
The response is yeah, come home, Blagovich. We'll see you, or B will
Okay.
see you.
I won't reply to that.
You wish
I'll
you
just
came with me
stop
to
it.
court, huh?
I'll think about it.
And
I'm just-
Pocket. You just want to get back to day to day.
And I'm sorry, this is just me. I'm just thinking about, like, honestly, how cool these sending boxes are. Because, like a payphone, you go into it and you send a message to another box. But the way sending works is that they can only send a response. So if you don't, like... So it's like a call and response. And then they can't send any more information. So it's like, you know, it's kind of like being an untraceable kind of like telephone booth kind of thing. I'm just thinking it's
Like
a
a
really neat concept.
Hologram booth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't send another message back to you without knowing where you were.
No,
Yeah.
they would have to. It's one of those cases where in movies sometimes you see people who like memorize telephone booth numbers.
Yeah,
It's very
exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, yeah. No. Pocket's tired. Okay. Yes, he wants to, he wants to go home and chill. He doesn't live at the pastry place. He has a...
No, you live at that boarding house.
Yeah, I have a room at the boarding house, at Lady Drayton's boarding house, where and I work at Paltry's Pastries. But I've got this really Pocket wants to find a magic item broker so he can attempt to sell this Horn of Valhalla, which he cannot use. He will be murdered by its guardians or Valhallans that it summons because he is not a martial man.
Blake would buy that off you.
Blake's gone, and
Yeah.
you don't know that.
Yeah.
You probably don't know Blake Sunny necessarily.
I also, if Blake would have said that, Pocket would have said, "I don't think you could afford it."
Yeah, very true.
Pocket's trying to get 20K off of this thing, 15K at minimum.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah. So
What's a legendary item?
yeah, it's a wondrous legendary item. Yeah. So, and it's in my bag of holding currently. So yeah, Pocket'll get up from the table. Who's left here at the table?
It is Blake Sunny. Or no, I'm sorry. It's Russo. It is your boss, Paltry, and Ansem the Wise.
Okay.
Where's Copernicus?
Perticus has gone off with Blake.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was good surviving with you. If you ever need any pastries, come by Paltry's. That's Paltry.
Paltry waves.
I've got more work to do. You took a phone call. You seem like you might be busy too.
Oh yeah, Ruzo's gone. Yeah, so you don't even have to engage. Ruzo excuses herself.
Awesome.
So you're
Oh, this
you're just like kind of
Yeah.
imagining like it would be so awkward.
Yeah.
they were
I look
here.
around. I'm like, oh, cool. All right, Paltry. I'll see you at the shop tomorrow. Mysterious man, have fun confusing other people with your riddles. I'm going to the market ward. Peace.
Yeah, that's great. So you go to Tivum's Antiquities, where you think that they might be able to appreciate and recognize, and it's run by a very, very dusty old tiefling man. The walls are green. There are different encased displays where they have very, very ancient-looking tomes and artifacts and things of note.
Nice. So I'll flitter. I'm not gonna take a card or anything since I can like fly. I always just like zipping by and through the buildings as I twist around and stuff as I make my way over there. I'll probably even
It doesn't stress you out.
I'll probably even just come in through an open window into the shop.
Sure, we'll say that you can pop in. There's like a little vented space.
Hello.
And there's a ring. There's a little ring that
little magical
is made,
alarm.
even though you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
And there's a voice that calls out, "Yes, hi there. Yes,
Hello.
yes. Have you traded with us before?
Possibly.
I don't think I recognize you.
I trade with a lot of people. Possibly not. I'm Pocket.
Well,
Purveyor of
Luvius.
pastries, magic, and amusements. How's it going?
Yes, my name is Luvius Ruskin, and I run the shop here. Yes, I'm keeper of these many items. I'm very old and have nothing but the memories of this ancient city to keep me company these days.
What's the name of his shop?
Tivum's Antiquities. Tivvums. It's M21. It's in a tower with green marble walls.
And Olivius is
He's an old tiefling.
right.
And you can see that his limbs are very, very thin and withery. They seem on the far end of their life. They have large spectacles.
Now, all right, Mr. Ruskin, do I have a deal for you today? Are you familiar with the with Valhalla?
And the tiefling nods knowingly.
Yes. We all know it's a mystical place where only the most hardened, the bravest warriors of Isgard get to reside when they perish. What I have for you
Yes.
today is a horn from Valhalla. And now, I know what you're thinking. Horns of Valhalla, that depends. It's an item. It comes in different sizes. Sometimes they're silver. Those are all right. You blow that, you get some warriors to come help you out. That's cool. Brass, well, even more will come, but you gotta be good with using some weapons. Bronze, don't forget about it. That's a lot of warriors, but you gotta be able to use a lot of weapons and all the armor. This baby right here, pure iron. This thing is legendary. I'm telling you, you'll summon so many of these freaking warriors to your side, you won't be able to know what to do with them except for murder your enemies. But it comes at a cost. These guys are finicky. They will kill you if you two are not a master of all weapons. It's a bit of a give and take. But for the discerning warrior, it is an invaluable asset. In pitch. I want 20K for it. We can work out a payment deal. It doesn't have to be all at once. It's like, I understand nobody is that, liquid, not nobody, but no one no one is presenting themselves as that liquid in a market like this, if you know what I'm talking about.
Ephraim says, yes, and there are reasons for that. I'm afraid what you have on your hands is something that so few people are capable of using as such. That it is, like you said, you need to have a buyer in mind.
Well,
It's
I
like
mean,
selling a very, very antiquated piece of fine art.
pretty much
You
anybody
need-
who's been a warrior for a few years can use it, but that's there's a market for it. Don't pigeonhole it too hard.
And he says, yes, but this item which carries an enormous moral weight.
Look,
Yes, and
okay. I'm about to walk out your door and find another person. I'm looking for a broker. I want to hand this item over, and I want to receive the money that it makes. I don't give a shit who buys it. Okay, bub? So are you going to help me sell this, or am I
says-
going to find another dealer?
He says, have you considered going to an adventuring company? It may be more well suited for your purposes.
I considered going to the magical trade hub of the multiverse and finding one of the many magic brokers who would be happy to sell this for me. I see my first choice was wrong. Good day, sir.
Good day.
I go to another magic place. I'm looking for a broker. I'm not going to a shop. I'm not looking for a guy who has a little storefront. I'm looking for someone who moves product. That's
Yeah.
where Pocket's at. He knows they exist, so.
They do exist, and you know that probably the spot would be in the area near M7, Copperman Way, or just to the south of it, near Garrett's Jewelcraft. And yeah, you are able to find a broker. They tell you that they can't offer you more than 7,000 gold for it, max, despite persuasions and what have you. The people who are doing that kind of like turning over, there are certain they point you to like this book with like changing prices and market value inflations and algorithms, and they say it's
Oh
not me.
no.
They just point you to the scroll. And they show you market value.
Uh-huh.
It depreciates as soon as it leaves Valhalla, you know?
That doesn't make any sense. It's useless there.
But it's in pristine condition. It's mint. This horn isn't mint. It's probably been lying in a chest. Pocket,
is,
you know that
is
you're...
losing his mind.
It's just like real life.
You're telling me
The broker says
that
that's
this
as good a
tier
deal
of
as you're gonna
item
get.
could be as cheap as 7,000 gold. And
no,
yet-
I'm telling you that I can't sell it if I pay for more than that to you.
Well, fuck you. And I leave this guy too.
Yeah, that's okay.
I know what this thing is worth, and I'm not getting 7,000 gold off of it, is what Pocket fumes to himself as he flitters through the streets. In my scene. Go to someone else.
That's wonderful. So you spend the day trying to sell that off. And yes, we're going to Blake Sunny. Blake Sunny, you go to the courthouse. You are taken to a small interrogation room and asked about the incident that happened with the Bleak Cabal, where their headquarters was bombed. Whether
Oh,
you saw anyone who looked suspicious or knew anything. Your name was brought up by the factual Katera Driscoll, who you may remember.
hey, Katera! Who's my interviewer?
Your interviewer
I wanna
is a
see.
stout, um, it's a bugbear. He's wearing like a detective's hat, and he's got some accoutrement that seems to imply that he's a member of the Harmonium, though he doesn't have any weapons, which you think is very odd.
That's very odd. Interesting. Monk? Cool. Either way. Alright. I can break it down for you real quickly and real honestly. Mr. Detective
Berenstein.
Berenstein. Thank you.
Oh no.
Alright, so Detective Berenstein. Me, my party, and I believe it was just me, this guy called Bast, who unfortunately seems to have passed away as of yet, and I'm just saving for a resurrection for him, and our good friend Emerald. And we were just walking down the street, and then this tabaxi seems to come out of nowhere with an exploding building in the background.
Did you get a look at their face?
Did I get a look at their face?
Make an
I feel like
intelligence
there's
check.
yeah, I was gonna say. I think there's an interview technique you can do to help me remember these things. The mind is very susceptible to suggestion, especially mine. I get a 4. My third
The
4 of the session.
the interviewer looks at you confused. Do you want me to tell you what tabaxis look like?
No! Oh my god! I read about it
Do
in
you have
psych
any
class.
discernible features, any items on him, anything that set him apart? Maybe something that like a faction badge or any particular kinds of robes.
So, real talk. I don't know whether or not Blake's opinion on the harmonium is quite positive. Like, she's gonna
No,
actually
you
play a little
fucking hate.
coy
You
about it.
kind of don't like them. Yeah.
I do not like them, especially after what they did to Bast and everything.
They're
So
trying
she's
to get
gonna
you
play
to
kind of
rat
coy
somebody
about it and be
out.
like, "No, dude, it was just a tabaxi. Like, I think if he was bombing a building and then going around declaring his faction, then it would be kind of, he'd be kind of dumb. And believe me, I know a thing or two about dumb."
He looks at you again suspiciously.
Wink.
All right. Well, thank you for coming. If we need you for any further questions, we should be able to just do it through the post.
Hey, good stuff. And if you're ever near the lone journeyman,
The
that's
Grim
my axe.
Journeyman.
She says it wrong.
Yeah.
She's really playing up the dumb things so they don't read into her. Yeah, that's my
Lone,
axe. I'll get you a drink.
Lone Journeyman. I can't say I've heard of it. All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Berenstein. And she's gonna go out and just kind of like, oh,
It's Berenstain.
Jesus.
It was Berenstain the whole time.
Berenstein. How do you think that went, Copernicus? Do you think I did good?
Copernicus wasn't in the room, so when you say that, Copernicus looks at you like, you seem really confident, Blake.
Oh, jeez. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I need a nap.
Yeah, I think that you might just have a little bit of a portal lag. Let's get you home.
Yeah. Let's do that. And that can be my scene. I really like the way that went.
Okay, so you managed to get back to the apartment with Copernicus.
Mhm.
Very good. Ruzo, where do you head?
Where would I have to go home in this city?
That's a great question. Are you going to the Blagovich Manor, or are you going to your ancestral family home?
Wherever I believe that letter wanted me to go.
Oh, yes, the Blagovich Manor then. It would
Okay.
probably be in the clerk's ward. I think that you're...
So I'm still
There's
by the
this-
12 factors.
Yeah, so you would head... it would probably honestly be somewhere...
Is the apartment closer?
Well, it's honestly
Or...
about the same distance, actually.
Oh.
If you look, there's this H36 Shrinker's Tavern in this area called Darkwell Court. I think that is probably where the Blagovich Manor is, and your family home, as it were. It's just around there.
Can I hail someone down to take me there?
Yeah,
Our
absolutely.
friend,
You
perhaps?
can get a cab. It's not with the same cabbie. You can't see
Aw.
him. I forget what his name is. Oh. But yes, you can get a cab, different person who gets you there. And so, yes, you're able to touch base with your family. Pocket, you.
So before we go, would it be possible to present to you the downtime activity for attempting to sell items? It takes time and days to do, and it has investigation and perception
This
rolls.
would be the
and stuff.
perfect time to do something like that because
Cool.
this is our little downtime jump skip. About 2 weeks, let's say we have. So
Oh
what's
my
the
God.
story?
Oof.
One sec. I'm gonna double check that there isn't something also newer in Xanathar's guide, because I think there might be downtime activities.
Thank
buying-
you,
Yeah.
David.
But- selling a magic item is by no means an easy task. Con artists and thieves are always looking out for any easy score. There's no guarantee that a character will receive a good offer even if a legitimate buyer is found. A character can find a buyer for one magic item by spending a work week and 25 gold, which is used to spread word of the desired sale. A character must pick an item to sell. Resolution: a character who wants to sell an item must make a persuasion check to determine what kind of offer comes in. The character can always opt to not sell, instead forfeit the work week of effort and try again later. Magic item base prices. So this has always been a weird thing of disparity, like in 5e. In the Dungeon Master's Guide, it states that legendary items have a base value of 200,000 gold.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have is a legendary item, and the base price on this table is 200,000 gold. And then, depending on the offer I make, it could be either 50%, 100%, or 150% of the base price. Or you could even add more options into the table.
Yeah.
And there's
I
also
understand.
complications on the table as well.
What are these what is the nature of these complications?
There's a D6 table. You could even make up more of your own, obviously. Your enemy secretly arranges to buy the item and use it against you. A thieves' guild alerted to the sale. They attempt to steal your item. A foe circulates rumors that your item is fake. A sorcerer claims an item is birthright and demands you hand it over. Your item's previous owner or surviving allies of the owner vow to retake the item by force. Or the buyer is murdered before the sale is finalized.
Wow. Interesting.
yeah. All kinds of stuff.
So, all right. Just go ahead and make me what? We'll just say an investigation check first to see how well your sleuthing for a particular buyer goes.
So, real quick, that's the newer set of rules from Xanathar, which starts with a persuasion check. And then there's also the original rules from the Dungeon Master's Guide, which are older at this point, but it's you through multiple investigation checks, the search is occurring simultaneously, the results or failures aren't at blah blah blah. you investigate, and then you make persuasions. And the price table is much lower in the original DMG. A legendary doesn't even show up on here. Never mind.
Okay, well-
Investigation check. I get a 18.
Cool. Can you make one more for me?
Yeah. Searching around the city. How about a 24?
Very good. So this is great because this actually really works with my plot
I'm not
hook
trying to just get a
anyways.
boatload of cash off of it. I want this, to be something, that's happening in the world. But I also just don't want this item.
This is something that's happening in the world.
And-
You use basically all of your social resources and talk to as many people as you can and go out to pubs. You don't go as far as to like put out signs, but you do pay for an advertising space in magical items monthly.
I do
Something
what
like that.
any person who pushes magic items, in this city, I do what they would do in the most intelligent way because I have a 20 intelligence. Pocket's a pretty smart kid.
Yeah. Well, and you have a pretty good sense of what you want to do. So that's what you're doing in this 2-week
I
interim
will
period.
also keep the horn in my magic wrist pocket. So
I believe that lasts for an hour at a time.
let me double check.
You keep it in your bag of holding.
Right.
I believe.
Let me double check.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, so it'll be in my bag of holding. Whenever I'm in sketchy areas or situations, I use my wrist pocket
Mm-hmm.
to secret it away.
Yeah, that's perfectly okay. So that's what you're doing in this 2-week period. What are you, Ruzo? In the meanwhile, you know and are increasingly made aware of forces by the vampire Dracul, the Undying, in order to usurp the Blagovich position, and they're increasing rumors about plots to bring down the Blagovich clan. So your uncle has become quite a bit more insular, a bit more paranoid. He's staying inside, not leaving his keep. And most of the other people who are associated with the manor are also being advised to stay in. You've had to get all of your regular blood donations kind of brought to you. There's no hunting. Sometimes you would go into other places to hunt. Is there anything that you wanted to get done, or are you particularly interested in this intrigue, I suppose?
I am.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Natural 20 and 22.
Nice.
That's great. So, yeah, your sleuthing has led you to the conclusion that it is obviously the case that the vampires want to kill Dmitry Blagovich, your uncle. But you know that one of the most surefire ways to keep vampires out of other vampire spaces is, by not inviting them in. And no vampire invites other vampires to their lairs. It's not done, or very rarely done. Only among true friends. And Dmitry Blagovich and the Lord Dracul the Undying are not on those terms. So it is your understanding that the person who has been hired out, ironically enough, by the vampires themselves, is none other than Susan Sunny, Blake Sunny's mother.
That
And-
whore!
a retinue of adventurers associated with her. So after about 2 weeks of sleuthing and digging up and asking around and going to some really questionable places like the Bones of the Night, hanging out. I think that you spend a lot of time at the Bones of the Night tavern, and you are eventually kind of clued into this. And you receive a letter, unsigned letter, that says, I have more information, and it tells you to meet at a particular booth in the lower levels of the Bones of the Night. Which is where you've been kind of going anyways, so it seems like a matter of course for you. Blake, Sunny, in the meanwhile, what have you been doing? You might not be aware that your mom has this job. She doesn't talk to you
I
about
was
work.
gonna say, if I could suggest law, I would love it if like Blake knew this, but was like completely like whenever Russo asked, she was like, "What?" Like,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
might
think
not.
so. Just like not paying attention.
You even if you knew that your mom was doing the job, you might not know that Ruzo is related to the Blagovich family
Oh
because
God,
she
yeah.
introduced herself as Ruzo Sorrowbrook. She didn't take her father's name.
Yeah, I love the idea that Blake's giving her like half answers that are mostly wrong. Like, oh yeah, she's on this big project, you know, taking down some family. You wouldn't know him. Like,
Yeah, you.
holy
Yeah.
shit.
What has Blake Sunny been up to? You've obviously. Do you make an investment in the bar?
Yeah, Blake would love to return to the Grim Journeyman and actually apologize. And I think that like she's kind of been humbled by these adventuring things, and she wants to make money, but she's not going to be an ass about it. So she's going to try and middle of the way and work with the people at the Grim Journeyman.
So Toby Daly tells you that there have been other investors
Yeah.
who have come in. Oh gosh, this is where my my planning is supposed to come in handy.
Oh, cool.
Yes, that it would still be great if you could invest in the Grim Journeyman, but there are other people who have stepped up to the plate in the meantime. Among them, a wizard. Let me see what his name is. Oh gosh. I might not have it, but among them, a particular wizard who Toby has become very attached to, who is known. Oh, gosh, what are they known as in Sigil?
It's not the guy who sold me the fucking anti-hangover potion twice. That would be really funny.
I'm not sure. This is in my head. Well, among other things, you're told that they have very many names, and that's
Oh,
about as
God.
much information as you get at this point. There are several mysterious figures who Toby is kind of quiet about the other investors, but he tells you that with 1,000 gold investment, you would own essentially 20% of the company.
1,000 gold, 20%. Toby, I didn't realize you were such a businessman.
And Toby says things have been really well, actually. We got the scab rumor off our back, and yeah, it's business changes overnight in the city.
I don't have 1,000 gold on me unless it like.
I thought that you did.
No, like I hate to be like. Blake was never the one to grab money. That was always Bast and Theodos.
Theodos had all of the gold.
Yeah, like they were always the money collectors. Like Blake was just kind of fine with having money.
I do need
So,
to head
like,
off really
You
soon.
had some money.
I need to head off really soon.
No, it's okay. I promise I'm gonna wrap it right up. So yeah, you're.
Oh God.
So you dive into your family stores, is what you do. Your like trust fund, which is something you would never admit to.
She
But-
had like a nest egg. Like, yeah.
So you go to your nest egg and you find a note. It is addressed to you, and it tells
God.
you essentially to sort of like meet up somewhere. It's like a a date card is what they would call them, something like that, an appointment card.
Cute.
Yeah, and I would imagine that there's some kind of embarrassing detail or something particular that Blake Sunny wouldn't want to get out. That is like kind of implied, if not directly alluded to, the
She
nature
does
of the
have
card
evidence.
and the fact of where it is in this like very personal place, kind of clues you in.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that little hole. Okay, cool.
And Pocket, you after a lot of trouble, are able to
didn't
find a
expect it to be
buyer,
easy.
some clueless, some random clueless beefcake, John Bravo, who is coming to the city, doesn't really know anything about anything, but has a lot of gold. And
I'm like walking down an alley with him, and he like flinches at a window. He's like, "Huh, who's that handsome man?" Oh, wait a minute, that's just me.
Yep. And they want to meet at a random little inn in Little Arcadia called Hester's Arms.
Before I meet with them,
yes.
Pocket doesn't want to just go into like a high gold deal just straight up by himself.
Yeah.
Can I
Mirror Pocket.
Oh yeah, I don't. I actually may. I don't think I've. I think I've moved that spell out of my repertoire for the time being. Can I? Before I go in, I just want to like try and hire some muscle.
Yeah. Well,
without
it's
paying
totally
them
fine.
first.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Okay, look.
Because actually, this will be a really, really great way to explain what's happening.
Yeah. So I go to Beefcake Alley, obviously, looking for some hunk to stand by me and look tough. Look, you're busy. We don't have way to contact each other. You're not here. I'm looking for someone who's here.
Blake's not intimidating unless she rolls intimidate.
Yeah.
She's very small.
And you're not here, so I'm not saying this to you, but Pocket thinks Blake is kind of dumb. So
she is.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, hey, Beefcake, I'm about to come in to a lot of money, and I'm willing to pay you a little bit of that money to stand by me and look mean and beat someone up if they try and fuck me over.
Yeah, you can get some mercs, just some plain mercs.
That's a 20 persuasion, non-natural.
Wonderful. Yeah. So
Follow me.
The thing about it is that not just the buyer that you've had, but there seemed to be an influx of both clueless and other people who just like don't know the city. A lot of magic users, a lot of tourists, a lot of people who are coming here, and there's seemingly no explanation.
The light boys, pickpockets, the con men are all out on the streets, and I'm just like bumping shoulders with them. I'm one of them right now. I'm one of them.
It's open season because there's an enormous influx in the population, and even though all of you might not be particularly clued into it, you're aware that there are maybe not you as much, Russo, but there are way more people on the street. There are way more people who are being brought into the city, and if you ask about it at any point, even incidentally, you are informed that in the Prime there's been something that is called the Spell Plague that has taken over, where there was an enormous some kind of incident, a mass flash that killed almost the entirety of magic users who were on the Prime and in some of the Outer Planes, actually, as well. And that ever since, magic has stopped working on the Prime material. And so not only were a whole generation of magic users killed in what they're already beginning to call the Spell Plague, those who weren't killed are normally scarred, are unable to perform any kind of magic, and the land and worlds themselves have been irreparably altered.
That
So on the
sucks.
prime
We need to
material,
close the gates.
they're um yeah.
I'm just like I'm saying this to another cager that I'm just like having a cup of tea with while I'm selling this shit. Like, shit,
waiting outside a hot dog stand.
there's way
just
too
like,
many
yeah,
fucking
shit's
clueless
fucked.
around. We need to start like boarding up portals, man.
I remember when Sigil was good.
I mean, I remember when it was at least a place where clueless couldn't just bumble into it like they are now. Jesus.
And yeah, so they're the people who make it into the city of Sigil are the ones who, for one way or another, sort of foresaw or happened to fall through, or who have come since and managed to find portals. So there's an influx of movement into the city in response to the spell plague, and everyone sort of knows that if you get tossed into a portal and you end up on the prime, that you can't, your magic probably isn't going to work. So it becomes the question of like portaling people or sending people through portals without their consent is like a much bigger deal. It's what everyone's kind of afraid of. It's in all the papers.
I'm assuming business has never been
and
better
so
for
this-
non-magic. You know?
Well, and a lot of magical stuff too becomes kind of more expensive because it's in demand.
Yeah,
and so
that-
Pocket's got a pretty on this deal.
So yeah,
Mm.
follow me,
And
Beefcake.
all of you have, yep, and all of you are sort of making your way into the spaces where you're planning on going to have these exchanges. For Blake, it is at the Grim Journeyman, I believe. For Ruzo, it's at the Bones the Night, and we already did say the name of the bar. Oh, it's in Little Arcadia. The Hester's Arms Inn for Pocket. And all of you, once you kind of make it to your operative meeting spaces, just fall as if you fall through a pit hole. And
Even though I fly,
you find yourselves in a yeah. If you
you
don't,
gotta-
because you're like sitting down. If you don't stand on it willingly, then one of your
don't.
beefy comrades betrays you and pops a portal into your space in like a mirror or something like that. It's
Beefcake,
it is
no!
the pretense for all of you stumble into a room that Blake, Sunny, and Ruzo would be able to recognize pretty quickly as Crone's coffee, as Crone's office, I should say. The office
Oh,
room of
God.
Crone's coffee.
Oh, not this
I
again.
look up and I see you two. No.
Hey, little dude.
I'm not exactly
And
happy about this
you-
either.
And you look up and you can see this woman with disheveled robes on and an odd bird body, and she says, "Yes, yes, yes."
Bro, leave them out of it. They're
And
not
that's where
part
we're
of your
gonna
contract. Nice.
That's where we're gonna stop.
Nice. That was fun.
I like that.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
So-
sick fucking season start. I like it.
It wouldn't be D&D if I didn't try and do anything that the DM wasn't prepared for.
Well, yeah, it's fine. I should say that Copernicus has probably been living at the apartment.
Oh,
Who's a
That's
oh, he
where I
doesn't get
imagine-
teleported with us, right?
We'll say that yes, Copernicus also comes.
I was
into
about
the
to say,
room.
if
yeah.
I'm getting roped into this, that motherfucker better be here
Copernicus
also.
is the keeper of the Elder Wand.
No,
I'm sure
Blake's
Is Leo
gonna.
there?
Wants Leo, yeah. Well, Leo is now no longer a phoenix snake. He's a phoenix pseudo-dragon,
Damn. But yeah,
which is one of those mini dragons that sits on people's shoulders.
That's sick.
Never growing
think Blake's
into
gonna
like an
hate that.
actual dragon. Just always little guy. They could like turn invisible and do other fun stuff. Little tricksy bastards.
Yeah, so in my head it was a like a true polymorph spell, basically, something to the equivalent.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so that is the beginning of our next season. We barely got to touch on the kind of the main plot. Well, the spell plague is the thing that's happening in the background. And what happens in the foreground, I guess we'll have to wait until next week to find out.
I like that.
Nice. That was a lot of fun, y'all.
That was a lot of
Radical.
fun.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
no, it's been really good. So until next time, bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.